Hey, what's good everybody? My name is Jason, or General, and today, guys, I am going to be teaching you guys how to become a Fortnite god. I'm going to go over the 6 best tips to use in order to become a Fortnite god. So, if you guys could, leave a like on the video, subscribe if you're new, and leave comments down below, and let me know what you guys thought of the video, and let me know if these tips helped you, and let me know down in the comment section below, too, what the most kills you have gotten in Fortnite Battle Royale is to this date. Also, if you guys are looking for any shotgun tips on how to deal more damage with a shotgun, I'm going to leave a link to that video down in the description below and a card at the top of the video, so make sure you guys go check that out. So anyway, guys, let's get right into this and let's talk about tip number 1. So tip number 1 here is crouching. Crouching is key. Crouching is crucial. Now, what crouching does in Fortnite, that really, especially now that we have the 100% accuracy for the first bullet that you shoot, it really centers your shot. It makes the spread a lot smaller, so you're gonna get a lot more, I guess, better kills, if that makes sense. You're gonna get a lot easier kills. Your bullets are gonna register more, and that's really crucial. You know, if you guys ever have gotten mapped across the map by like a scar or something like that, it's because of the 100% accuracy. Your first bullet is gonna go where you shoot 100% of the time if you're crouching and you aim down sight. Now, crouching, again, like, it makes the spread of the gun a lot smaller, so you're going to have those situations, especially medium to long range, where you're going to be able to take people out very easily. Now, honestly, you know, in my opinion, this was probably one of the biggest tips that I can give, honestly, because, you know, this is the one thing when I first started out that I was really bad at, and, you know, because I didn't really understand, like, oh, crouching, like, why do I need to crouch? And, you know, once I started doing it more often, I'm starting to get a lot more consistent kills now, and things are going really well. So, and really, this really matters, especially when you have the assault rifles, and of course, if you're using like SMGs and you're trying to get like those medium range kills with like the tactical SMG or something like that. But in terms of shotguns, this really doesn't make a whole lot of like difference, in my opinion. If you're using shotguns, you should really, you know, just be trying to get the spread as tight as possible, and with that, you want to aim down sights. So, and with shotguns, obviously, you're not going to be, you know, using your shotgun at medium to long range. So, for short range engagements with shotguns, you're really just going to want to, you know, get up close and personal with those guys, and, you know, again, try to play really smart with the shotguns. Don't just go, you know, balls to the wall, unless you're using a tac shotgun. Tac shotgun's really the only shotgun that you can really go balls to the wall with, because you can shoot it so fast, especially if you're a console player. I noticed a lot of console players primarily only use tac shotguns, because console, you know, the hit detection, everything's a bit wonky on console, and, you know, the controllers and everything. It's just, in my opinion, the tac is better, you know, for certain situations, but the pump, you know, especially if you're on PC, pump is really good. But crouching, when it comes to shotguns, really doesn't make a whole lot of a difference, at least in my opinion. So, you know, when you're crouching, if you have an assault rifle, you always want to crouch. So it's going to help with those medium to long range engagements. Now, the second tip is a pretty obvious tip, and that is just to aim higher. Okay, now this is, you know, this is something that, you know, if you're a new player, you're probably going to be in those situations where, you know, you guys, you know, kind of just spray and pray and try to get, you know, those kills and everything, especially if you're like an SMG or something like that. But I'm telling you guys, if you try to aim higher, you're going to get a lot more consistent, you're going to get a lot more consistent, you know, takedowns. You're going to get a lot more consistent kills. It's gonna work out really well, especially if you combine that with crouching. You're going to get, like I said, you're going to get a lot more consistent, you know, kills with that. So aiming higher, especially with shotguns. Shotguns, when you aim higher, obviously are going to be dealing a lot more damage. You know, if you ever go into a room and you just get completely obliterated by somebody with a shotgun, even if you have like 200 health, you know, that's one of the biggest reasons why, is because they are aiming higher, and you're probably going for like a body shot or like a medium, you know, range shot or something like that on the body, whereas they're just kind of sitting there aiming to the head. And that's why when going into rooms and things like that, you guys always want to go in, you know, aiming higher, and you want to play it slow. You don't want to always go in there just going, you know, like I said, you don't want to always go in balls to the wall, because at the end of the day, like, you're trying to, you know, aim higher, because that you're going to get those more consistent, you know, quick kills, and it's going to work out really well for you. Now, the next tip is you always want to have your best loot going into the middle to end of the game. Now, this should be very obvious, but I've seen so many people, they go out and they, towards the end of the game, they got like 50 wood or 80 wood. And, it's just, a lot of people don't understand that you want to have as much good loot as possible going into mid to late game, because you're going to be finding a lot less loot unless you're taking people out very consistently. So, towards the end of the game, I always try to have at least some sort of blue assault rifle or SCAR if you can find one, obviously. And of course, like grenade launchers, rocket launchers are big. They help out so much, especially when you're in engagements where like people are starting to rush you and stuff, and you're starting to shoot you're starting to shoot on somebody's base and whatnot. Like, they get really scared when you're popping grenade launchers or you're bopping your RPG and stuff like that. So having the best loot towards the end of the game is really key. And I know that's a pretty obvious one, but for a lot of people, especially new players, they don't really get that. Now the next one kind of goes with number 3, and that is to always farm materials. This is something that, I was not a big believer in. I wasn't a huge believer in building, towards, when I first started playing. But once I really started to get pretty good at the game, like, I was right now I'm always farming loot. Or not farming loot, but farming materials. Like, you always, if you see a tree and there's nobody around and you don't have, max wood, just go out and knock the tree down, because trees are going to give you the most loot or the most materials possible. Now, and this includes, if you see, fences, if you see bushes, anything like that, go out there and knock those bushes and fences and trees down, because you're going to get a lot of wood from them, and a lot of wood is very key. So, brick and steel and all that's fine, but I really try to, just have as much wood as possible, because it's faster to build, and of course you can really get a lot of good advantages that way as well. So the next one kind of goes into that, which is building is key. Building in this game is so incredibly crucial. I mean, if you do not build in this game, you are not going to be successful. This is probably the number one tip, besides crouching and aiming higher, that I can give you guys. I mean, building is key. Like, if you do not build in this game, you are not going to be very successful. And, when I first started, playing this game, I came from Call of Duty, right? I came from, Halo, like first-person shooters. Like, I was all about, yeah, my gun skill's better than all these people. Like, I can easily take them out. But I'm telling you, when you play against a John Wick or an Omega that's just built like a builder pro, and he's just all the way to the top, and he's basically circling you in, doesn't matter how good a gun skill you got, you're probably going to be taken out, let's be honest. So, building, counter building, that is so crucial. And, making sure that you got, like, planks and everything under your wood, your bridges, if you're building a sky base, you always want to have as much, material there as possible to make sure that you don't get taken out there, or somebody, of course, threw a grenade launcher at the bottom of your base or whatever, and it blows up and you fall down. I mean, you always want to make sure that your structure is really secure, if that makes sense. But like I said, guys, building is so incredibly crucial in this game, and you guys really, if you're not very good at building, just start practicing as much as possible. And, just make sure, if you're playing on console, Builder Pro right now is really good, but I still play on Combat Pro. But the SCUF controller with the paddles on the back of the controller helps me out so much when it comes to building. It helped my building out tremendously once I started to learn how to use those paddles. So if you guys have a SCUF controller, I highly recommend you guys go out and, learn how to build with the paddles, because it helps out a ton. Now, the next one is having height advantage. Now, this is something that, even in Call of Duty, like other FPS games, is very, is very important. The height advantage is really just a massive thing to help win your gunfights, because, look, if you're on top of a mountain and you've got a bunch of guys coming towards you, you're already 10 steps ahead of them, because it doesn't matter how much they build. If you've got height advantage on them, you can just shoot your RPG, shoot your grenade launchers, shoot your SCAR across the map, and you're just going to be at such a better position. So if the circle's, going to be landing near a mountain, go after that mountain. If you land at Tilted Towers, I always land, I call it Trump Tower in Tilt. It's the tallest building in Tilted Towers. I always try to land there, because, at the end of the day, once I take out everyone that's in that building, then now I have height advantage over literally the entire pretty much all of Tilted Towers, and there's been so many occasions where, I'm able to get like 2 or 3 guys, that are just in the other buildings across from, the big building in the middle. And it's, it's really easy. It's because they just don't expect it, right? So, in my opinion, and in a lot of people's opinion, height advantage is very, very key in Fortnite. So if you guys could, get on those mountains and stuff, I recommend it very, very much. So anyway, guys, I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you leave comments down below. Let me know what you guys thought of the video. And guys, this is the 6 tips on how to become a Fortnite god. Now, there are a few other tips as well that we'll go over in other videos. So if you guys want to see that, leave comments down below and we'll make a part 2 to this. So anyway, guys, I hope you guys did enjoy. And if you did, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and I will talk to you guys later. Have a nice day, guys. Bye!